So for the next component of this test, Aaron is going to go ahead and do our chicken fabrication. Now the fabrication of this chicken is very specific to this test. What we are going to be looking for is one airline chicken breast, and remember that is the skin on, bone in breast with the first section of the wing joint attached. The next thing he's going to do is a boneless, skinless chicken breast, or a supreme. He's going to have 2 legs and 2 thighs. Those need to be separated. We're also going to be looking for 1 full wing and then 1 partial wing that would come from that airline breast. Now, some of the things that I look for is to make sure that you're not leaving usable meat on the carcass. We want that carcass to be as clean as possible. I'm looking for nice, smooth, clean cuts. If I notice jagged cuts, that tells me you're not sure where to cut and you make multiple cuts. I'm also looking to see that fat is trimmed and that you fat, any cartilage, anything that would not be desirable to have in the finished product is trimmed off, and to also have a nice finished presentation. So we're going to let Aaron take it away and we'll take a look at his finished product.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start by drying off my chicken, my whole chicken, moving it from my ice tray and ice water. It's good to have paper towels with you while you're doing this. That way it doesn't slip on you. You feel more confident when you're making the cuts. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to examine my chicken, make sure that there's no feathers, anything like that, trim off any excess fat, and I'm just going to be throwing it into my waste bucket right there. So with every chicken, they're all going to be different. So for my airline chicken presentation, I'm going to pick the best looking breast, because sometimes they're not even. So you just want to pick the best one for the presentation. Remember, we're presenting this as an exam grade. So it looks like this side's going to be my one. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and just cut off this portion right here. That way I know that this one is for my presentation side. Next, I'm going to go ahead, and as you can see right here, you can actually see the wishbone or the collarbone. So I'm just going to take my knife to expose this, come all the way up, okay. Come down, same thing on both sides, all the way up. Just gotta work your thumbs in there. Okay. Once it comes out, pop it right out, throw that right there. So for this, we'll go and make little shallow cuts just through the skin to expose the thighs. That way, okay, and then just pop that thigh bone right out. Same thing on this side. Oh, shit. So that way it lays flat. Check your insides of the chicken, make sure you don't have any gizzards or liver and stuff, and that's all gonna go in there. Then now we're gonna find that center bone, and we're just gonna make one cut following that center bone. Don't be scared to use your fingers also for this. If your knife gets a little bit dull, just sharpen it up. Everyone does these differently, so whatever technique works best for you and whichever one you've practiced and had the best luck with, no, not luck, but best results with. Come back and clean that up in a little bit. Same thing with this side. Then for this, we're gonna take off the thighs. Coming in, finding those oyster muscles right here. So if you flex it, you can actually see those two little muscles right there. Bring your knife just above. And then you can actually, just with the tip of your knife, expose that little pocket. And then just slowly work it down. I'm barely just using the tip of my knife. And then there's your leg quarter right there. Put this on the tray, and we'll clean those up in a little bit. And again, just keeping my knife as close to the bone as possible. Throw There's our other leg back. Okay, and then for this, as I left the oyster muscle gone, just gonna break that in half and put that for our stock. Okay. Come back to our chicken chicken breast that we're gonna use for our airline. Okay. Remember, we notched it off, and then out of there came our chicken tender, one of them. Throw that back on the tray. And then for this, just clean that up. I'm gonna grab the actual whole chicken, I guess you can call arm, and about halfway down the drum, the first joint, I'm gonna cut and then just score all the way around so that way we can create our presentation airline. Okay. And I'm just using the back of my knife to scrape off all that connecting tissue and muscle and meat to push it all down to the bottom of that airline. And then what I'm gonna do is the opposite way that your arm bends, you're gonna just pop it off and it all come off just like that. As you can see, we have our chicken breast for presentation. And then now we're just gonna go back through it, and all these little pieces right here of cartilage stuff, just slowly start cleaning it up, making it look nice for our presentation. Be sure to make sure that you're putting your skin, trimming minimal as possible to keep all the skin intact. There's a little pocket of fat right here, so just gonna use the tip of my knife to clean that off. Okay. There we go. Now for our other chicken breast, we're gonna go ahead just with your thumb, your hand, take off the other chicken tender. So we have our both chicken tenders, and we're gonna turn this one into boneless, skinless. So just get that. Just help out the skin. When you do that, you're gonna expose right here. You can feel it with your finger, and you can see the line of fat that goes through it. Where these two meet, just gonna cut it right off. Okay, so after we take off the skin and our whole wing, just wanna fold it up and put it for your presentation. Like I said, just fold up your wing like that so we can put it on our presentation plate. And here we're just gonna make minimum little cuts just to clean up this boneless, skinless chicken breast. Very, very, very light cuts. There's like a membrane that's on top of the chicken breast. As you can see, we wanna make sure all that's off. Just like that. Okay. Same thing with the back side. Make sure we didn't miss anything, any pieces of bone like right here. Okay. The last thing we want is the instructor or even a customer to get a piece of bone or cartilage or something like that, something nasty like that. So then there we have that. Put that one next to our airline breast. Next, we're gonna go ahead and work on the thighs and the drums sticks. Okay. So this one, since the dark meat's a little bit more fatty, we can start slowly trimming the excess. Just before we separate the two, we have our oyster muscle intact. So as you can see here, up here is this line of fat. And you can actually feel with your hand when you're doing this where the joints meet. They meet about right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this, make a little cut. Oh, actually, there we go, it's right there. Take that off. You have one. There's a thigh with bone still in, and your drumstick. So one thigh, one drumstick. Same thing over here. Just take off a little bit of excess skin. If you see really big deposits of fat deposits in there, take them off. There we go. And then same thing. Locate that. Go be right there. There we go. Roll that off. There we go. This is good. Okay. Roll that up. Get all your stock, and then once also too, we'll be going through this and separating the fat and all the skin from the bones, because you don't want the skin or the fat inside of your stock, because it'll be a very greasy stock. So from there, so now show you our presentation one. We have 2 drums, 2 thighs, 1 whole wing. Here's the other wing from our airline. We put there our airline breast for presentation, our supreme breast, and our 2 chicken. Oh, actually, you know what? Go back. Show that off. And our 2 chicken tenders. And then from here, we're gonna go ahead and start cooking after that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on cooking our Panzer chicken for presentation. I have my pan right now, preheating. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil to it, just a little bit, because we're just gonna saute just a little bit. Get that nice and everything. Let that go. Then we're gonna season our chicken. Just a little bit of salt. There we go. A little bit of pepper. Okay. And then also, so we're just gonna go ahead and toss this in there. This is gonna give it an extra little crispiness to it. So it really, really fries real good. Okay, just kind of get that going in there. Test to make sure our oil's hot enough. Okay. Make sure our skin of the chicken is right there. Okay. Then we're gonna go skin side down for about 60% of the cook. Okay, get that going. Then in this pan right here, we're gonna use this for our sauteed vegetables that Hilda blanched for us in salt water. So once you start seeing the white smoke, turn it down just a little bit. Check it here and there. All we're looking to do is get like a nice little sear, a small sear on it at first. So we're gonna flip it onto the meat side, and then we're gonna cover it with a lid if you have a lid. And from there, now we're just gonna let it kind of steam inside itself, inside of like almost like an oven, a stovetop oven. Okay. So that's going. We're gonna go ahead and get a little bit of oil in here. Turn on our burner. Get a little bit of oil. Okay. Okay. Pour a little bit of oil in here. That poured a little bit too much, so it's okay. Just pour it out. Then we're gonna flip our chicken breast. See how we got the nice sear, nice color? And then we're gonna turn it down. And we're gonna go ahead and cover that. Put it on a low flame. There we go. Cover that up. And then this one. We're gonna go ahead and add our carrots first. We're gonna go salt. A little bit of white pepper. And we're gonna drop some butter. Some more parsley that Hilda chopped up for us. Okay. Just like that. And then take them out. Set these aside for our presentation. Okay. Then going with our broccoli. Again, a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt, this one, a little bit of pepper. Thank you, Hilda. Okay. Okay. And we'll get that starting to heat up. While I'm letting my oil heat up and watching my chicken at the same time, go ahead and get some separate seasoned flour that we talked about earlier. And I'm gonna make my onion crisp. So what I did with these onions is I soaked them in some milk and a little bit of water just to make them get that natural sweetness out of the onion. So all we're gonna do is go ahead and throw these into the seasoned flour. Give those a toss. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put it back. And that's kind of what we're looking for, just a nice even coating. Leave these to the side for now, till we're ready for our oil to be ready. Let's go back and check on our chicken. And we're just waiting for our oil to heat up so we can just flash fry our crisp, and our chicken should be done about the same time. And then we can start with plate up. Okay, so our chicken is just about done. So we're gonna remove the lid. We're gonna go ahead and temp it. Okay, we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this chicken. I've already fried my onion crisps. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and let the chicken rest along with the onion crisps, and we're gonna go ahead and get working on our pan sauce. So in the same pan that I've made our chicken, we still have all that nice stuff stuck to the bottom, the fond. And so we're gonna go ahead and get some confit garlic that I've already minced up a little bit. Get that in there. Get all the aromatics in there all together. Okay, now that our cream sauce has also reduced down to the consistency we wanted it to, I've gone ahead and plated our basmati rice and pilaf underneath at a diagonal, our blanched and sauteed vegetables on each side, and then our scalloped chicken, we put it in the middle, and then we're gonna go ahead and sauce it. Then I'm gonna go ahead and get some of those crisp onions that we did, and just right on top. And that would be our Panzer Chicken on top of the rice pilaf with blanched and sauteed carrots and broccoli and fried onion crisp on top. And our cream sauce on half of the chicken.
Thanks again for joining us for this EPCC Chef Share session. Here we have that beautiful plate that we've been looking at getting built all day, and I've got Aaron and Hilda behind me. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and please, as always, let us know if there's something you'd like to see, like, share, and give us some feedback on these videos. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.